Hey, what's up guys? So today we'll be attempting to make a game inside of Unity using only AI tools. So the goal for this video is very simple. We need to actually make a game using only available AI tools, and I cannot have any input in the actual coding or outside of things. So this is very different from the kind of tutorials that I used to make, but hopefully this can help some of you guys to understand how AI tools can be useful in game development, and maybe even help new beginners to get started making games. And hopefully this inspires you. Also, big thanks to the sponsor of this video, which is Stress. We'll be using their tools for today's video. So let's get started. So right now I've got an empty Unity scene. So the first thing that we need is to get a game idea. So we can ask AI for game ideas, or if you already have yours, you can feel free to skip this step. So here we've got a few things. So first is the kinetic deflector, a physics-based arcade game in which you control a single paddle at the bottom of the screen. Instead of breaking bricks, your only goal is to keep a physics-based cycle, the core, inside a moving target zone at the top of the screen. The mechanics: move the paddle left to right. The circle bounces naturally using this one. The twist: a moving target zone shifts along the top edge. If the ball bounces and hits the target zone, you get points. If it falls past your paddle, game over. Then we've got gravity shift. A square runs automatically to the right instead of jumping over obstacles. Clicking the mouse inverts gravity. Oh, that's nice. Sending the player flying to the ceiling or jumping back to the floor. The twist: whenever the player presses space, you flip the gravity. The player must constantly read the upcoming obstacles and decide whether they belong to the floor or roof. Orbit or die. A small planet sits stationary in the center of the screen with a gravity radius. Your player, a small triangle or circle, flies forward into the screen. Mechanic: when you hold down the left mouse button. And the twist: space debris flies across the screen. You must hold the button to orbit and dodge the debris, then release it at the exact right moment to slingshot linearly across the screen. Then you save planet. Alright, so we actually can use this one. This looks quite simple and very interesting as well. So now what we are going to do is, first we can ask for Gemini to tell us what sprites we need in order to actually make this game. Alright, so here we are, and here is the prompt that I've given it. Alright, so here it is. This is the global style prompt, and the first one is the player. The second one is the anchor planets and space debris, and the gravity ring as a visual aid. Alright, so now let's switch over to Stress Games and I'll show you how we can use it. So this is Stress Game, and we are going to use the quick sprites from Stress Game to actually make the planets, because I still want the planets to have some sort of animation. We can use Sprite Sheet for this. Let's copy this and put it inside of the prompt window. Alright, so I've just basically combined the three parts. So this one is the first part, this one is the second part, and this is the third part, this one. And then here in the quick sprite from Stress Game, I've actually selected the VFX effects. So this should technically give us the planets, hopefully. So let's hit generate. So this is the results that we've got, and we can click on it to actually preview the actual final result. And this looks quite good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some variations of this, and I'll come back again. So here we are. I've got two more sprites made, and these looks pretty good. Obviously you could add and make more variations as needed, but for this video we'll just be using these three planets that we've got. Yeah, so now what we can do is we can just download them. So I'm going to download them at 1x. Alright, so now that we've got the three planets inside of Unity, as you can see here they are, we can make our second sprite, make the player. Now while this is creating, let me show you another thing that we could technically use, which is the AI generation or image gen inside of Sources Game. So this one is more like what Gemini or ChatGPT would do. You can technically select any cloud models that you want, and you also have an option for a local GPU. So this is actually better if you don't want to deal with the cloud and all that stuff. So let's give this a try as well. So we are going to just give this AI or this tool the exact same prompt as this one, and we'll see what exactly it can do. Let's just give it one prompt for now. We can use the AI agent later on, and let's just ask it to create four different images for me, and let's hit generate. While this is generating, let me preview what it did for me. Oh, that's actually quite nice. Here it is. We can technically get rid of these two explosions, or we can technically use them for when the spaceship is damaged or is dying or something like that. So I'm going to wait for this to create, and I'll be right back. So here we are with the image generation. So all of them has been created, and as you can see, it looks quite nice, but obviously these ones are a little bit flatter. A prompt told it to do flat vector game access. So obviously if you are going for this style, then obviously you could technically use these. These are very nice, very usable overall. However, I think we are going to use this one simply because it looks a little bit better and it's already animated. So I've also, and then there is this one as well. This looks kind of nice, not gonna lie. Actually, this one is for the actual guide, so we are going to put this to show the actual gravitational field of the actual planets. Alright, so let me just import all of this inside of Unity. So we've got the players as well as the different planets, and in order to actually use it, what you have to do is first convert the texture type and adjust some parameters so it actually works. So let's just do for the player for now, and then you can apply the same steps for the other sprites. So what you do is you just select the texture, and under texture type you can just create a sprite 2D and UI, and then for sprite mode keep this as multiple. Alright, hit apply. Now you should see that it now turns into a transparent background with the images in the foreground. Now next, click on the Open Sprite Editor to come inside of the slice, and inside of type, instead of automatic, what we can do is grid by cell size. Alright, either that or by cell count. Here we can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's a 4x4. Here we can just write 4 and 4, and we can just do slice. So as you can see here, if we hit apply, now we've got all the different sprites available that we actually can use. Alright, so now we've got the sprites for everything. Now we can just quickly create the animations for each sprite. So for planet 1, I'll just select all of this and drag and drop them here. And now as you can see, it's automatically going to create an animation. Let me just save this into an animes folder, and let's just call this planet 1. And now as you can see, it automatically created the animation based on the sprite sheet that we gave it. Great, so I'm going to replicate this for the other sprites and I'll come back. So here we are. We now have the sprite for the player, for the other two planets, and the obstacle as well as the gravity field. Here is the player. For the player, I'm going to remove these two sprites at the end because I don't actually want it to flash like this. So now if we play it, as you can see, this looks good. Actually, I'm going to remove the two from the front as well, so we can just keep the spaceship like this. Great. So now let's hit save. Now let's move on to the next step. which is to ask Gemini to give us a background idea. Alright, so what color we can use. Let's see how or what color it suggests. So let's just copy this, come into main camera, and here switch to orthographic. Let's do temporal anti-aliasing and enable post-processing. And here let's replace skybox with solid color, and we can just have the color here. Here it is. So a dark blue. This looks great. So now that this has been done, let's ask it to generate our scripts. So here are the scripts that it gave us. So this is the player controller.cs. So I can just download the code right here. And just to make this a little bit faster, what I can do is create a new folder here. Let's just call this scripts. And then I right click show in Explorer, and then I can just copy the path to that folder and come back here and click on download code. Let's just paste this here, and let's just rename this file to be playercontroller.cs. Make sure it's written correctly and hit save. And let's do the same thing for the other two scripts. Great. So now we've got all the three scripts imported inside of Unity. And the cool thing is that we did not have to actually open Visual Studio at all. All of this was created by the AI. So right here, Gemini was smart enough to also provide some instructions. Alright, so here we are inside of Unity. Let's make the player real quick. So we can just drag and drop the player component. Where is it? Here it is. Actually, let's create a sprite here to the object sprite. It doesn't matter what it is. And right here, what we can do is we can just go under anim and look for player. So here is the animation and the animation controller. Here, then we can just add the animation like this, and I just drag and drop the controller inside of this right here. So this way, as you can see, it kind of animates. So this one should be the player. Sorry. Great. So now we can see that the player is here, and we can just scale it up like this. This looks great. And now let me just make the background a little bit lighter so we can actually clearly see the player. And then as a sprite, we can just drag and drop the first sprite, which is this one. So now we can actually see it. We can also delete the light because we are not going to use that right now. And great. So this, I think, works perfectly. So now that this has been done, we can just rename this to be player, like so. Alright, so it should be good right now. If you want to resize it, then you'd have to actually make the outline for the sprites a little bit smaller, so it actually hugs the player itself. Alright, so now let's do what Gemini told us. So first we need to add the script, which is the player controller. Let's drag and drop that into here, and let's just add the rigid body component, as well as configuring it to be kinematic, like so. What else does it tell us to do? Set the gravity scale to 0, and yeah, so that's it. I think Gemini was referring to another Unity version, because especially if you're using a 3D object, so for instance a cube, and you add a rigid body to it, that's when it's going to ask you about the gravity, as you can see. But here it does not. Instead, if you want to modify the gravity, then you have to actually go inside of the player setting. Here, inside of the project settings, under physics 2D, you can see that you'll have gravity as -9.81, and you can just put it at 0. So that's the first step done. So for this one, let's just add a box collider 2D and is trigger set to false. Now let's just ensure that this actually hugs the sprite itself like this. So now let's just add our planets. So I'm just going to come here and find, let's just do for one planet for now. Drag and drop this here, and then animate the component. and we can just look for the planet 1. Alright, so now let's just preview the animation, and yep, that looks perfect. Let's make it a little bigger. Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. Yes, so this looks good. And for this one, Gemini asks us to add the Circle Collider 2D. And then again, let's make sure that matches. And here we need ease trigger. And let's also add the planet script. Now we can just duplicate this twice. So this is the planet 2. For this one, we can just change this to planet 2 and this one for planet 3 and hit save. So each one will have its own animation. If you preview it, as you can see, this one is different. We can change the starting sprite for each one as well. That's not an issue. Planet 3, planet 2, and planet 1. So right now let's just have them here. And then one last thing is to have the obstacle colliders configured. So let's just add our obstacle like so. And here what it tells us is first we need our obstacle script, and then it asks us to add a collider as well. So let's just add a box collider 2D. Make sure that it matches the shape and make sure that ease trigger is set to on. And here we can just create another folder called Prefab. I'm going to drag and drop obstacle here and we can just delete it here. Great, so now let's move back to Gemini and make sure that we've actually done everything. Great, so we've got the player configuration, the planet configuration, and the obstacle. Did we add the obstacle script? Yes, we did. Great. So now let's just ask it how we can configure the scene. Alright, so now it gave us the instructions, and as for the planet, it asks us to have the radius be bigger than the actual planet. So holding Alt, we can have the radius be around this big. We can have this for all of the planets. Alright, so we can vary the radius by planet, for instance. That's up to you. So this one can be this big. This one looks a little bit smaller, so we can have its radius be here. And yeah, so now we've got the radius set up. Let's look at the other things. So now, here is how to actually make the scene, because all of this we've already done. So first it tells us to position our player at the bottom of the screen. Okay, so let's just do this. We can just disable this for now. And this one, we can have it at the bottom of our screen as it indicated. Next is duplicate your planet prefab a few times and arrange them sequentially upwards on the screen. So we've got 3 planets, so we can just use those. Like this. So first one, let's just have this here. Let's have this planet over here. And let's just have this one maybe around there. Drag a few obstacle prefab and place them slightly on the right of the screen, passing directly through the orbital planet. Alright, so now let's just drag and drop some obstacles here and there. Now let's just hit play and see if it works. Alright, wait. Let's position our player just here, so it actually goes inside of the actual gravitational ring. So now, alright, so that does not work, and if we look at the console, we can see that there are a lot of errors. Obviously this is pretty straightforward. Basically all we've got to do is add those tags, but the challenge of this video is that I cannot actually do it by myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this and give it to Gemini and see if it can tell me what to do. Alright, so here it is, he generated it. If I say tag in the editor before a script can be assigned, so here it is, it gives you the step on how to actually do or fix that. So we are just going to fix this really quickly. So add tag. Here we can add one called obstacle. Make sure it's written correctly. We can add another one called planet. And yeah, that's it. So now we can hit play. So now let's see if it works. Oh, yeah, it does work. So right now we can see that what's happening is the player is getting hit by these projectiles. Let's stop playing and let me just remove those obstacles for now. And let's just test the actual movement, if the actual planet works and the gravitational pull and all of this works. As you can see, it does actually work. If I hold down my left mouse button, it actually goes around our planet, and if I release it, then it does actually go in that same direction, as you can see. Yep, that works. Amazing. So as you can see now that the game has been done. So where's our player? Let's just pause and see where our player went. Here is the player. As you can see, it went quite far actually. And now we can just click and it's just going to orbit this planet, right, like this. Yes, that works. Perfect. So now we can hit play and stop the game. So as you can see, this is very easy to make that. Alright, obviously this is just a prototype for now, because we only got like about 30 minutes. So there's only so much that you can do in 30 minutes. But obviously this should hopefully encourage you guys to actually start making games. Alright, and hopefully that you actually saw how easy it is to use Sorceress to get those sprites. Alright, and another thing that I did not cover in this video but is also extremely helpful is the audio suite that Sorceress gives. So for instance, let's just go into the music generation. Alright, and let's just hit simple. Here we can have a space theme music to be played in 8-bit. Right, I really like 8-bit music for games, especially for this kind of art style. So what we can do is we can just hit create and wait for it to finish. While this is creating, we can look at the sound effects generation. Here what we can do is a sound effects for a spaceship crashing into a star. Alright, then let's just have it generate the sound and see what it gives us. So here let me play the actual music. Hopefully you guys will hear it. Let me know if you don't. So this was one of them. Obviously it's a bit longer, but I'm just going to play the start of it so we can have like a small idea of what it looks like. And this is the second one. So as you can see, it sounds pretty nice. Obviously this is in 8-bit, but you could technically tell it something like, I don't know, something premium, right? If you want a premium feeling, let's see how it does with this prompt. And while this is actually generating, let's head to the sound effects and hear what it gives us here. So let's play it. Alright, so that was good, but we can technically ask it to make it less long. A 1 second audio clip for the crashing sound. Generate. And now let's play the 2 different songs it gave us. So as you can see, it's very useful. It's very easy to make some quite good and impressive sound. Alright, we've tested it in 8-bit setting as well as an instrumental premium setting. So let me just download this one and import it inside of Unity. Here, let's hear what this one has to say. So yeah, this one is definitely better in terms of the sound, and let's just edit it to make it better for our use case. Here, let's just hear it again. Alright, so that looks good. I just want to use a small portion of it though. Maybe something like this. Yeah, so this I do think it's a little better. Yeah, so let's hit save and I'll just import it inside of Unity. So here it is. So here we go, we've got both sound files inside of Unity, and let's just quickly have both of them added. So we can just right click, go under audio source. Here we can have it's this one. Drag and drop this inside of the audio source. Have it on loop, play on awake, and then let's just put the volume as something like this, and let's put it right here. Great. So let's save this and let's see how this looks now. So as you can see, this definitely helps make the game feel a lot better, with the sound obviously. So we'll stop here for today. Alright, so hopefully this should now give you a solid understanding of how it's actually very easy for a beginner to make a game inside of Unity, especially using the Sorceress tool. This is excellent. Alright, so we've got this sound generation, which is one of the biggest things that indie developers simply rely on for every type of game. And then we've got the sprite generation, the 2D image and asset generation, which is also something that unless you know how to draw, you really cannot actually do by yourself, and learning it takes some time. But apart from that, we also have some nice 3D tools available that we can explore in future episodes if you want. And we've got like 34 different tools again. As you can see, there's so much more to uncover here. But if you guys want me to go in depth in the other different aspects of this Sorceress.games tool, things like I see procedural walk and rigging animation, this is actually quite a game changer in itself. Alright, because actually rigging your character and having the walk animation is quite time consuming, especially if you're new to begin at Unity. This can save you a lot of time. Same thing for animation. AI text animation is actually quite useful. And we've got character rigging, model generation, which is something that a lot of indie developers simply struggles to make. And we've got Material Forge, as well as Voxel Studio, which allows us again to make voxel-like characters and stuff. So again guys, there is a lot to uncover here, and so far, as you can see, it's quite a gold mine, alright, for any indie developers that wants to have one place to have everything that is going to help you for Unity. Right, so you've got access to 30 game developer tools in the studio itself. Right, so if you guys enjoyed today's video, then please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if I've not already. Also, do let me know guys if you want me to cover Sorceress tool in more detail, alright, in a later episode. Maybe we can try and make something even better, or make a whole series with it if you guys want. Let me know in the comment section down below. And on this note, I'll see you guys next one. Bye!